3, 2, 1.
We're all staring at our phones. We're like, holy cow, it's
11
starting.
minutes late.
That's okay, though. At least we started.
Oh, look at that. Who's this chick?
What's going on there?
Oh, that's just the way it's going to show.
That's nice.
That's fancy.
I like her.
That's really good.
You really?
There you go.
Oh, great.
What is going on, everybody? Welcome to Old Carver Fishing Podcast. I'm your host, one of the 5 hosts. I'm Luke. And today is Wednesday. It is the 29th of March. I'll tell you what, snow's really melting now. River's going up, which calls for catfish.
River's going down.
River is actually going down. You're right. It went down like 1.5 feet in the last day. I thought it was going to get up a lot more than it did. We'll just say that. But I think it's still going to go back up once they get the full melt in the spring rains. But
it will.
We got a good show today. We'll get to the guests here in a second. I'm going to introduce the table. I am Luke Hench's Fish on Luke on TikTok and YouTube, and now Rods and Reloads on YouTube.
Oh, yeah.
You know, you
want to do a quick intro here real quick? The channel?
Yeah, how do you do that? You got it?
What?
Oh, shit.
I already did the format.
Well,
How are you?
this is me and Tara's new channel.
Yeah.
That's
what happened is that when you guys unloaded it off of
that's really good
CapCut,
quality.
it was 100% volume. You want to put it
Oh.
to 50% so that it doesn't transfer.
Don't
I
yell
don't
at
know
us.
what I'm doing.
We're just
Now you
starting.
know.
Anyways,
I'm novice.
thank you, Chewy, for showing that. Guns and Rods and Reloads. I don't even know the name of my own channel. Well, that's our new endeavor me and Tara are going to do. That's next to me here is Tara. She is Tara Fishing on TikTok and YouTube. Now, Rods and Reloads. So we got first video is going to be in Idaho, which we will talk about maybe at the end of the show or at another time. But we leave in a couple weeks, so we're really excited for that. Next to Tara, we have Scott Goodyman, Norfin Pro Staff, Old Carver Fishing Pro Staff. Call him the panfish man. That's what we call him here.
Is that what we call him?
Yeah, the Iceman. The Iceman during ice season.
Yeah, it's Iceman.
Iceman.
It's ice cold.
Yeah, 'cause
Steve, ice cold Scott
He
Goodyman.
just merged crappie.
Yeah, he just does it.
Did I say it right this time? Crappie?
Crappie.
Crappie.
Yeah.
Nobody cares, Luke.
Puto.
Who's next?
Next to him, the tall guy. That is Mr. Danny Two Cats, local river guy, Old Carver Fishing Pro Staff as well. And next to him, the guy with all the gray hair, that is Chewy Godinez Jr. He's been real stressed out later. He's the co-owner of Old Carver Fishing Bait and Tackle Shop here. Actually, Old Carver Bait and Tackle Shop, not Old Carver Fishing Bait and Tackle anymore.
Old
It is
Carver.
officially changed.
Officially. Yep.
Old Carver Bait and Tackle is now the name.
Yep.
which is makes sense. You don't have to have fishing in it when it's a bait shop.
No.
No.
Bet you guys have never thought about that. We were talking about. He's like, "Why do I have fishing in the name of the
it's
bait
because
shop?"
well, there's a reason why it was named that way, but that reason doesn't exist anymore. So,
Right. So here we are.
so yeah. So now
He
we got-
is the co-owner of the shop here where we do the podcast, and he owns the bait shop here. He also owns Stoked Custom Baits. And today, our guest is the one and only Chris from El Gato Azul
that's
TV.
right.
Hey.
Yeah, here we go. Rock it.
What's up, people?
How we
How's it
doing,
going?
Chris?
Doing really good. How about y'all?
Good.
Yeah, I'm
Oh,
rocking
we're-
that Mad Cats.
Yeah, we're
Yeah, buddy.
we're doing really really well considering. As you guys probably noticed, we started the podcast a little bit late here. We had some issues.
What's
Not
new,
technical
though?
issues.
No, we had
Right.
just issues in general.
Yeah, because we're
Chewy was getting phone calls from UPS. He had a bunch of undelivered packages that went to the wrong place. And this is important since our opener for the shop here is in like a week and a half. So we need to make sure everything gets here. And then we couldn't find something
Yeah.
for the podcast to charge.
There's
Hey,
a good chance it's in here somewhere.
We found it.
It was a
Hold on.
crucial item.
It's about the 5th time they've reorganized the shop
In the
since they
last-
started.
Yeah.
there we go.
What are we doing?
Since ice
Oh,
season
changing it up.
started.
But Chris, welcome to the
Don't
podcast.
see no more.
Thanks
I'm
for having
sure
me.
maybe around up here, down away from Minnesota, more people are probably more familiar with you. It's hard to get catfish traction up here in Minnesota. But you want to introduce yourself? Tell us where you're from, a little bit about your maybe a little bit about your fishing journey.
Yeah.
And then we'll get into the YouTubes and all the other good stuff.
All right. My name's Chris. I fish out of North Texas with my 7-year-old son, Action Jackson. He fishes on the boat with me every week. We fish year round. We fish what's called the Catfish Triangle of Texas, which is, if y'all aren't familiar, it's Lake Tawakoni up to Texoma out to, and basically my home, Lake Louisville. And we predominantly fished for blue cat. We trophy fish about 6 months out of the year. We have a trophy fish season here, but we chase eaters the rest of the year too. So
Nice.
it's, we're just fishing fanatics and addicted to that slime. So I'm trying to bring my son on and get him, trained up doing it. So he's been coming with me every week since he was just before he hit 2. And that's probably the coolest thing that I got going is getting him involved in fishing because, man, he's on a roll.
Yeah.
So what is a trophy season? I've
That
never
was
heard
my
of that.
question. Yeah.
So in Texas, we have our trophy season usually starts around October. And that's when we'll start catching our big fish. We'll catch a few in the summer as they come off the spawning beds. But, I'm a family man, so I can't really fish all night long like some guys. Our fish in the summer will go nocturnal. But I just, having a son and a family, it's hard for me to fish at night. So
Yeah.
I fish daytime in the summer. It's 100 freaking degrees in the summer here in Texas. It makes fishing pretty difficult, but we hit it early. Try to get off the water by about 10:30. So it's pretty much small fish season till September, and then October as we get our cold fronts rolling in, our rain hitting the lake, the big fish will start showing back up in the daytime, and then that's when we really go hard for big fish.
So it's
And
not regulated. It's just the time of year you choose to
Yeah,
target.
it's just the time of year
Okay.
when we can specifically target big fish rather than it just being kind of a luck thing. You can go target them, and we do pretty good. We've been fishing. I've been fishing for my whole life. I grew up fishing. I lived on the lake as a boy, so it's pretty much in my blood. I'm trying to get my son, trying to pass that on to him, and that's pretty much our story. We're a fishing family. We fun fish. We also do a little bit of tournament fishing, but mainly fun fish, and just enjoy sharing our journey with people. Trying to get kids motivated. We put on fishing clinics and junior angler tournaments and stuff like that here in North Texas. So that's kind of what we got going on. We got a little YouTube channel we live stream from. That's gained us a ton of recognition just when guys see it, kind of how we get down in Texas. We hammer big fish in the winter. I think that's, gained us a lot of recognition. It's helped open a lot of doors for me and my son. This year, he's really gained a lot of interest from people. So we're kind of enjoying the journey, and we like sharing that with people.
That's really cool.
That's awesome.
I assume Action Jackson's about 50 pounds. What's the biggest blue he's ever caught?
He's got the junior state record for blue cat at 72.5. So he broke
Hell
that.
yeah.
That's a big one.
He broke
Wow.
that
That
on
is awesome.
December 31st. He broke that on New Year's Eve this year. We did it on a live stream. 72.5. It outweighed him by 20 pounds.
My gosh.
I love
It
that.
was a hell of a
I've
battle,
great.
so it was a good
that's
time.
really, man, that's a memory for life there,
It is. There is one other fish that really was more memorable. It was his first junior lake record. He caught that probably, I'd say, is late October this year. He hooked into a 55-pounder up in shallow water, and he got it about halfway to the boat. And I've been letting him take the rod out of the rod holder, and he's been fighting a lot of 30s and 40s, and he can handle them. But this was just a fish of a different class, and it sucked that rod right out of his hand, and it went straight to the bottom. And he said, "Dad, I'm sorry." But it was hooked to a planer board, and I said, "Don't be sorry, son. We're getting this fish." And I threw it in reverse and grabbed that planer board, and I pulled it up by hand, got the rod, handed it to him, and he finished it off and got it in the boat and got him.
Oh my
got
gosh.
awesome.
Blue
That's
cat
so
junior
cool.
record. It was 55 pounds. And that was probably the coolest fish fight I've been a part of. It lasted about 15 minutes. About gave me a heart attack. But it was cool.
That's cool. I've never done a lot of catfishing in I haven't done a lot of catching. That's a horrible way to say that. I haven't done a lot of catfishing in Texas. I've done when we're gar fishing down in south of Dallas a little bit on the Trinity or the Brazos, either one.
Yeah.
We'll catch a catfish once in a while on that bottom bait with the carp,
Yeah, I see a lot of guys catching flatheads in the summer when they're fishing for gar. I predominantly fish lakes, so I do have some of my Mad Cats teammates that are big into gar, and they're going to get me going on gar. I've tried to stay on the boat just because having a 7-year-old that's wild like my son, he's neck deep in the water. If we're on the shore within 30 seconds, he is in it. And you can't get any fishing done if you're chasing around a little kid like that. So we've stayed on the boat, and it's been tough getting him geared up and bringing him along. But man, this past, I'd say, year and a half, he's hit the ground running, and we're off to the races now. So
Dang, that's really cool.
Yeah.
Have you ever fished the Trinity before out of a boat?
yeah. I grew up on the Trinity. I live, my impoundment is the Trinity River impoundment. So I fished the East Fork. I fished the South Fork. I fished the West Fork. I fished the main Trinity River.
Yeah.
It's just in the last, I'd say, 8 years, I've mainly stayed on the lakes. I grew up fishing the rivers. It's kind of how I got started on big blue cats, was fishing floodgates and stuff like that, and for flatheads. And, it just kind of progressed from there. I caught the bug when I was 14, when I caught a flathead at a floodgate, and been hooked on it pretty much ever since. So
That's cool.
Is your guys' river level going down a lot down there? Or lake level?
yeah, it fluctuates. It fluctuates quite a bit. Our river is impounded, so it's a flood control system. All of our lakes that feed, that provide water for the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex are linked to that river chain. So, they'll hold water as it rains, and they'll keep that thing from really flooding a lot. But after the rains, they'll release water. So you don't know whether it's going to be high or low. It really just depends on which lake is releasing and how much current they're allowing to go through that floodgate. So right now, floodgates are wide open. The rivers are running full. So I've noticed a lot of guys are starting to catch the gar. They're on the rivers catching big gar. My buddy caught a 7-footer last weekend. My guide buddies they've just started really doing gar trips the last 2 weeks. So
yeah, once this water gets warmer, it'll get really good.
yeah,
I know
it fires
that
up.
heat,
I think in May is really when it takes off, and then
the heat of the summer is real good for those alligator gar. They move a lot and they're feeding a lot, and it's pretty cool seeing them when you're out there on the Trinity and you're seeing them porpoise and come out of the water. And now they got forward imaging. They got live scope and mega live, and now you can just find the giant fish and fish for them. I mean, that's kind of how you fish.
I got buddies that use drones, and they'll find where they'll fly that river and kind of find where they're all congregating, and then go through that specific section. So
me and Dan consider that cheating.
It's cheating,
right? We'll never
I would
buy a
not,
drone for that
no.
purpose.
No way. I want to use one of those for deer scouting. I'm pretty sure that's illegal.
We were talking about that
pretty
today.
sure.
Me and Tara bought a new drone yesterday for our new channel, and we were testing it out today. And she's like, "Oh my god, this would be so good for scouting duck hunting spots."
Mhm.
No drone use during the catfish league.
Except me, I'm going to be going to everyone's boat.
Oh yeah.
We're just
Look
gonna-
out for the eye in the sky
Yeah.
this year.
If you hear the little
Reel up your rod.
So Chris, how did you come up with the name El Gato Azul? I'm curious.
Well, being from Texas, it probably at least half everybody here speaks some Spanish. We're close to the border. We're probably almost 50% Spanish people here in Texas at this point. So everybody speaks at least a little bit of Spanish. A lot of people are fluent. A lot of my buddies, just when I was growing up, they just called me El Gato Azul because I chased blue cats. Really before blue catting was cool, they were catching bass and I was chasing catfish. They just started calling me that. And when I decided I was going to start a channel, my buddies were like, "What are you going to call it?" And I'm like, "Well, I just call it El Gato Azul TV." And I'm like, I don't know if I should, because I don't know that everybody in the rest of the country knows what the hell that means. But, it's stuck. So I'm Azul now. So
It's a badass nickname, buddy.
Yeah, me and Luke,
It's a lot better than Danny Two Cats.
me and Luke, the day that me and Luke called you, I don't know what day it was. Luke was like, "Yeah, you better get ready because we're gonna speak some Spanish." And I was like, "No, I don't think it's in the picture." I'll be surprised, but all right.
I was testing the comments on Twitch to make sure they came through.
Yeah, you came. Yeah, there you are.
Oh my god.
What?
Here's a comment Luke made to himself.
I just had to make sure it worked because we were live on Twitch today. And also, if you guys are watching on Facebook or on Twitch, make sure you go to our YouTube channel, Old Carver Fishing Podcast. Make sure you guys follow us on there.
Corey wants to know if the border is secure in Texas.
no. No, we're trying. The country doesn't care, but Texas is trying to secure it. It's pretty porous trying to secure something like that, but they do have border secure around a lot of the cities now.
Well, I can tell Corey. We're going to El Paso in July, family reunion. It's not secure. Everybody's gonna make it. Not secure, Corey. They don't stay for long, though. They go right back.
That's funny.
Yeah, so do we.
Everyone's gonna make it.
We got to get out of that
and if
conversation.
you want good rates on your roofing, not just carry it too much.
I'm ready for spring noodling down south. Gonna go pull some fish off their nests, huh? That a girl.
Oh, come on, Nicole.
Jesus.
You get a lot of noodling over there?
What's
People
that?
noodle? People noodling in Texas much?
You know, there are some, but it's kind of frowned upon because, well, the catfish purists that say that it destroys the nest, they thrash the nest.
Mhm.
If the eggs are on the nest, they'll thrash that nest and they lose that. If you take the fish off the nest, other fish will move in really quick and eat the eggs. So a lot of guys in Texas don't like it. Now, it's very popular in Oklahoma.
Super popular there.
Yeah, it is.
And there are guys in Texas that do it because they legalized it like 5 years ago, so it is legal. But I don't see anybody. I have seen people do it. I saw a guy pull about a 60-pound blue cat off a nest right out in the middle of the lake. He had scuba gear on, so they were diving down onto the humps and pulling them out of their holes on these rocky humps, and he came to the top with this freaking giant blue cat. I was like,
That's crazy.
Oh wow.
Yeah, there's
pulled it
a.
out, took some pictures, and let it back go. So
It's always something people ask me when I tell my catfish, like, do you do that noodling
Yeah,
thing?
yeah.
No, I don't. It's legal in
that kinda
Wisconsin.
spooks me.
Yeah.
Feeling around on a muddy hole, you know, sticking your arm up in a hole, you don't know what's down there.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
And
Gross.
letting, you know, you jiggle your finger so that they'll bite your hand, and then the fight is on. But
Right.
You can get back.
I noodled in Oklahoma and Mississippi. They caught, pick, and release. Yeah, they are caught and release, but they might not
yeah,
go
they
back.
release them.
Yeah,
But you know what the guys will say is it's in the process of pulling them out of the nest, they go nuts and they disturb the nest so much that it messes, you know.
yeah, because they're not really
Yeah.
moving around in there. You know, the male's guarding the nest for flatheads.
Right.
Males are guarding the nest, and they actually protect them from not only other fish eating them, but the female, because the female will eat her own eggs and her own offspring.
Yeah.
So when you start taking the fish off the nest, if it doesn't go back right away, I mean, I can't guarantee it because like you said, you don't know.
Yeah,
But-
a lot of it is hearsay. I mean, you
Yeah.
know, I have heard guys from the fisheries say that when you pull a fish off the nest, it's almost instant that fish move in there and start feeding. They just know those because if you've ever caught a fish off the nest, they stink. I
Right.
mean, they are
So
nasty.
what's
They
the
sit in.
difference?
I don't know how long they sit in
Can't hear
that
you.
nasty hole, but man, they stink.
Luke, what's the difference between noodling and pulling them off a nest, or us fishing post spawn and pulling
Well,
them
post
off
spawn means they're done spawning, Dan.
They're pre-spawn.
Yeah. So
Pre-
here's the deal.
Pre-spawn means they're not on
Anywhere
nests.
after May, like
If you're
I don't
an
fi-
angler and you're using a rod and reel, they're very difficult to catch during spawn. You would
Oh,
have
100%.
now they will attack something to defend the nest, but you would have to put your bait
On their face.
literally in front of their face.
Yeah,
and
Dan
casting
doesn't
to it.
understand. I don't flathead fish when they spawn. I bass fish for 2 weeks.
I go hard.
I think
No, it's just
pre-spawn. A lot of guys catch them that's like the hot time to catch them. Is
Oh,
pre-spawn.
pre-spawn's
Yeah.
the best
We
for
love
big fish. They're
pre-spawn.
moving,
About
you know.
2 weeks after post spawn, they go nuts because they've starved themselves for so
Yep.
long. They won't even eat. But when they come off the nest here, they are so scrawny you wouldn't even. I mean, they're probably. I mean, a big fish is 20 pounds underweight. You can see the rib cage,
Yeah.
and every bone, and they look just emaciated. They're beat up. They're bloody.
Yeah, we get a lot of bloody, big lesions and bloody tails
Yeah.
and bloody fins, and it's cool because you can kind of see you'll catch a fish that's all beat up like that. It's usually done spawning, and it's cool to watch them as you get later after post spawn. They start getting ones that have more healed.
Yeah.
Yeah. You can see how long they've been off the nest, depending on how much they've healed up.
Yep.
It's cool to see some like a big fish with a giant bite mark, and you think, man, that's a big fish, but look at the size of the bite mark on that thing. Well,
Yeah.
I'd like to get that fish. I mean,
Right.
You know,
So aggressive.
It's so true. I've seen some really pretty big size flatheads with big chomp marks on them.
Mhm.
Like you just imagine, and flatheads will eat a fish the size of their body. They'll attempt to.
Yeah.
They say. I mean, I'm sure you've caught big flatheads or small flatheads on big baits.
Oh yeah. I mean, I'm always amazed at how small of a fish will hit a giant bait.
Mhm.
I'm like,
It's
dang.
crazy.
I've caught fish that the bait was almost as big as the fish. I'm like,
Same.
what is this little guy thinking?
Exactly.
I've seen a 50-pound fish floating in the lake with about a 20-pound carp in his mouth. He couldn't get down. It killed him.
What a way to go.
What are you thinking, man?
Dude, that doesn't surprise me. I mean, they're apex predators. Those flatheads are crazy.
I do not care.
No, and then there's been I seen a picture a few years ago. Tara showed me one the other day, but that was a Wells catfish. But there's a flathead picture of a muskrat tail sticking out of the throat of a flathead someone caught.
Yep.
Really?
Ate a muskrat. Which
I got a cool video off his Facebook page. You guys want to watch it?
yeah, we're gonna watch a video of you,
Let me
Chris.
see if I can get this to rock.
Oh gosh,
Oh, here.
here
Oh
we go.
gosh,
You got it.
bear with us.
Oh geez.
Something's
Here we
happening.
go.
Oh my.
Here we go.
Here we go.
Questionable.
Yep.
There it is.
Nailed
It
it.
worked. Great job, Chewy.
There we go. Check this out.
No
This was
sound.
last weekend.
We just some
Say
old
last
country
weekend.
boys having a good time, making the best rods on the planet.
The sound's on.
Can you hear the sound, Chris?
Perfect.
Oh, same as last
Told
time.
them boys meet me down at your honey hole, bringing mad cat fishing pole.
Might wanna turn that down, otherwise they're gonna hear it twice.
Ripping jaws off, just like Jeremy way we yelling fish on. Channel cat,
Action
flatheads, and
Jackson.
blues and
There you
catch
go.
them all.
Oh my
gosh,
Mad
cute.
cats stacking
There you
fish
go.
to the tree
And is
top.
that a dog?
Folks breaking necks,
yeah,
trying
it's
to
a
see
puppy.
big
Oh my
dogs. If catching
Dog
was
wants
a
in.
myth,
Subscribe.
I'd be a Greek god. Battle rattle cat snatcher on a smash rod. Catch so
You guys
many
are both
catfish,
hooked
feel
up
like
there.
an outlaw. I
Hell
like
yeah.
it when she bends
What?
over and tries to touch
Is that on
the water.
Tawakoni?
Coffee
Yeah,
rods
that's
can't
Louisville. That's my home lake.
Oh nice. Pro release.
There's a release for you.
That's a pro release.
Quick
Sun
release.
sitting on the water, got them lights tied. Laid up, chilling, waiting on a
Oh
big
yeah, look at the
bite.
black
Told
light.
them boys meet me down at your honey hole, bringing mad cat fishing pole.
Out on the lake with my buddies ripping jaws on mad cats poles. Yeah, it's time we get a fish on. Blues, flatheads, channel cats, man, it's on y'all. Mad cats poles, the only way
That
to
dog's
rip
his
them
best
jaws
friend.
out. Late in the evening when the sun goes down,
Bring
head
him
up
up,
to the
man.
honey
Bring him
hole
up,
on the
man.
outskirts of town. Fill the cooler up with drinks. I'm ripping mad cats here. Don't need a season. We can do this any time of year.
Yeah,
Sun
nice.
sitting on the water, got them lights tied. Laid it up, chilling, waiting on a big bite. Told them boys meet me down at your honey
Hat
hole.
backwards.
Out on the lake with my
Took
buddies
a seat.
ripping
We
jaws
put that.
off.
Get more
Just
support
like
over to
Jeremy
that
way
lake.
we
Come
yelling
over that-
fish
over the
on.
ride and
Channel
Yeah.
cat, flatheads, and blues and catch 'em all.
That
Mad
dog is
cats
all
stacking
about
fish
that.
to the treetop.
How many rods can you rack down in Texas?
We can have 100 hooks.
100 hooks?
I knew that.
Are you serious?
100 hooks in the water.
That's crazy.
So they make that for trot line guys or joggers. It's just,
Yeah.
you know,
Oh.
type deal. So 100 hooks, however, whatever way you want to.
Got it.
How many rods do you keep on your boat?
Nice bird, big
I
boy.
keep 16 on the boat. I usually fish 10.
Having a good time.
That's
Making
a
the
fleet.
best rods on the
That's
planet.
awesome.
Sun sitting on the water, got them lights tied. Laid it
Come
up,
on.
chilling, waiting on a big bite. Told them boys meet me down at your
What a
honey
cool
hole,
kid.
bringing mad
That's
cat,
awesome.
catfish.
I really
I'd
hope
say
I'm
he's
not-
hooked.
Yeah, I really hope I'm not wrong, but didn't he win the Whisker, the Whisker Award Youth Angler?
He did not win. He was up for that. Youth Angler
Oh,
of the
he's
Year.
nominated.
He got nominated. Flathead Luke, his buddy.
Oh
won it.
yeah, I do remember. They're friends.
They're friends. They hit it off really big at these catfish conventions. So they're
What a
they're
dynamic
buddies.
duo.
Yeah. I wish we lived closer so we could get those boys together. 'Cause
Oh my
that
gosh.
would be,
Unstoppable.
but yeah, that's my boy. We call him Action Jackson, the Texas Tornado. So
I love that. I love
He's
that.
a wild one.
Yeah, I remember when we were in Texas, we were like 100 hooks. I was like, well, we're not going to obviously use anything close to that. But there's a lot of states without any rod limits. So, I mean,
Yeah.
it's just crazy how it changes. And it goes from 100 in Texas and he goes straight up and it's 1.
One in Minnesota.
You know that's our struggle here. We only get 1 rod.
That's crazy to me.
Mm.
Yeah,
Just one
Yeah.
rod.
it sucks.
Yeah.
Especially when the
even if
sun's
you got
up.
3 guys on the boat. What if you got 5 guys on the boat? Or, I mean, 1 rod each or 1
Yeah,
rod on
you
the
get
boat?
one
rod
one
each.
rod.
Okay.
It's crazy. We're trying to get the 2-line lob pass here in Minnesota. It'll be just for rivers, and it got to the Senate twice now, and it was piggybacked on some other shitty bill they tried to pass, so it didn't get through. But we're supported by our fisheries department here, our biologists. So we're hoping
a lot of
we're
pressure.
hoping
Is there pressure and there's just not that many fish? Or, I mean, what's the deal with the 1
well,
rod?
I'll tell you what I can tell you. I've had some discussions with some higher ups, and it pretty much comes down to some people, so maybe a few people that have been around a long time in the. Oh, geez,
All right, I'm back.
I was saying that I feel like, I'll just say I feel like, I don't know for a fact. I feel like some of the guys that have been around for a long time in the DNR don't want to change.
Yeah, change
There's-
is like very slow on that
Yeah.
side of things. I don't. It
It's
takes
tough.
like decades for things to happen. It seems like.
Yeah, we've got some really good laws passed in our workshop group. We got using a cast net for shad. That was illegal forever until a few years ago. We could use.
I can understand a gill net, a guy leaving a gill net in the river
Right.
or whatever, but a cast net.
And we got that passed, Chris, and you can only do it in invasive water rivers, the Minnesota, Mississippi, and the St. Croix River. But you cannot take the bait off the water. You can only use it, and you have to dump the rest.
You got to use the one piece, use it, and dump the rest.
No, you once if you get a bucket full of shad on a throw, when you're done fishing for the night, you can't freeze it and take it home. You have to throw it in the water.
Huh.
It's really good. We couldn't even use bullheads as bait in Minnesota till I forget how long ago, but that's passed. We got the size up to use for bullheads.
Hey, Corey.
Corey Bechtold says just use 2 rods and say it identifies as 1.
That was awesome.
Can you identify as 4 people?
Oh my!
Multiple
man.
personalities.
I mean, that's if they say anything, I mean, that's, what do they call that?
Split.
You can't tell me
split
what I am.
personalities.
No, you say
Oh,
I don't know.
you can't prejudice.
yeah.
That's prejudice.
Yeah, you can't tell me I'm not 4 people.
Dang.
Wouldn't
I mean,
that
you're
be
not
cool?
wrong.
Right?
But then you need 4 licenses, which that's where they'd get you.
Yep.
But each one has their own
Okay.
in my head.
Anyways.
Anyways, yeah.
I'm with you.
So how long have you been making YouTube videos?
I've been doing YouTube a couple of years, really going for probably a little over a year. We started getting more into doing the live stream stuff. I first just started to put picture montages and stuff just because I would lose my photos. When you keep them in your phone, you lose them. You lose the phone, everything's gone. So I was like, I'm going to start putting them on this YouTube thing so I'll at least have a copy after I lose my crap.
Yeah.
And then I had a pretty decent following here in Texas, and then I started doing that, and some of the other guys, some other guys were like, "Man, you do pretty good. Why don't you start doing some of these live streams?" And so I got into the live streaming October of last year, actually 2021, October 2021. I did my first live stream. Had a lot of fun doing it. It was a small crowd. I think we had about 8 people that came in and watched it, but I enjoyed it. I liked having my friends in there kind of seeing us catch fish. And once people started kind of seeing what we were doing, we started gaining a ton of momentum. We started getting a lot of sponsorships, and guys were like, man, I didn't know y'all could get down like that in Texas. It's crazy what y'all are doing. I had no idea Texas even had big blue cats. So I'm like, there's a ton of fishermen in Texas, probably more cat fishermen in Texas than in any other state. But for whatever reason, we just don't get a lot of notice or notoriety or publicity from other parts of the country. So,
Well, keep it up. It's coming.
Yeah.
I mean, you got Chris Flores that put New Mexico on the map for catfishing through his YouTube channel.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I
He
mean,
really did.
yeah, I mean, people don't really go there to catfish too much, but and nobody would know that there's catfish there.
They
If it
had a
wasn't.
place to catfish in New Mexico. I was like, what? New
Mhm.
Right,
Mexico?
that's what I'm saying.
That's-
People probably don't even know they were there.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
So do you like? Go ahead. I was gonna say, do you like doing live streams more or video production and putting stuff
Oh
up?
man, I like doing the live streams way more. It's just it's real. It's now if I wasn't pretty good at it, I probably wouldn't have much fun because I don't do well if I'm not doing what I don't. It wouldn't be fun if I wasn't doing well. Luckily, we do pretty good most trips. Otherwise, if I'm not doing pretty good on my fishing, it's not all that fun for me. Guys are like, oh, it's fun just being out there. But I've been doing it so long. I do enjoy being out there, but if I'm not having some type of success at it, it's painful, like brutally painful for me.
I get that.
Chris, I want to talk to you about that. So
I get that.
this I don't know if you ever used to watch me when I live stream when I first started like 8 years ago, but now imagine doing live streams for 8 hours, like 4 days a week, where you can only use one rod and you're by yourself. Dude, I could not even talk by the end of it because I'm like in chat mode because there's no fish. I'm like, I have one rod, and by the time I had one rod, like 5,000 comments. I'm like, I have nothing to do but talk. And I said, you guys, my saying is you gotta wait. I said, it might not be party time now. We're hanging out, but once we get a flathead, it turns into party time real fast.
Yeah. Well, when we started doing the live streams, I said, if this is going to have to be a talk show, it's going to be a terrible one because when I'm not happy, it shows. But luckily we do catch a lot of fish, and we're pretty consistent at doing it. So I just said, if I'm going to do this, I want mine to be a fishing show. I'd like for it to be pretty fast action. I do better when I'm putting fish in the boat. I can talk about, what I'm doing, why I'm doing it, where I'm doing it. I show guys the graph pictures. Guys will ask the rigs. I think that's gained a lot of attention from probably my sponsors because the guys that were watching us were going and buying the stuff after they'd see our success, and they'd say, oh, I saw Chris. Chris turned me on to these planer boards or this rod, this multi-bar rod rack or these rods. And, that got me a lot of attention from some of these brands. And then, they started supporting me, and, I'm not an entertainment channel. I'm more of just of a fishing channel. And the guys that watch me usually want to kind of learn, they're already fishing, but they just want to kind of probably take their fishing to the next level. They want to learn some of the stuff and that other guys just won't teach. They hide it. There's a lot of fishermen on YouTube, but the highest level guys I know don't YouTube. They just don't want to share their secrets. I mean, they're like, I don't want everybody knowing what I'm doing and fishing my water and going to my spots.
And there's a fine line between different types of people doing social media and YouTube too. There's the guys that will say I should have a YouTube channel. I catch a lot of big fish, but that's not what people care about all the time.
No, it's definitely an entertainment type
Oh,
deal.
it's a person thing. YouTube's a person thing. It always will be a person thing. I mean, there's people that hardly catch fish. There's people that don't do a lot of really amazing stuff on video, but they're really personable and people really like them. So they watch them that's what people like live streams so much, is you can talk to the people. They can get to know you as a person off of a video production. And when they're asking you questions, you're there to answer them. And that's what sells products for people. And people love that you can convince them like why you love this product, why you're using it. And that's where live streams are really, really beneficial.
Yeah, I like just the community part of it. Now, mine's pretty tight knit deal. I enjoy building those types of friendships from guys all over the country that I would have never met without YouTube. And some of my best friends now I met through YouTube. I've met a lot of these guys that are my friends now I met through YouTube. So guys are like, YouTube's a curse. And I'm like, well, it's also a blessing. It does eat up a lot of time, and it can make you want to bang your head against the wall if you're really worried about subscribers and stuff. And I never really worried about that till I got close to 1K. And I don't know why that 1K makes you want to hit that 1K number, but I really wanted it. But once I hit it, I'm like, okay, now what? I'm not trying to be a big YouTube star. I really enjoy the fishing. I mean, my thing is fishing. I just love to fish. But I have enjoyed sharing me and my son's journey along the way. And it has opened a lot of doors for both of us. So
yeah, and perspectives change as you grow on YouTube or you've been doing it longer. I mean, like you said, you wanted to hit that 1,000 mark. I don't know what your aspirations are now, but my whole thought process of YouTube has, since we started YouTube Northwoods Angling 9 years ago now, and we're looking up to people with 4, 5, 6,000, like, oh my God, one day it'd be so cool to be that big. And then you hit 20, 30, 40,000. And then you're like, that doesn't feel like anything anymore. And I don't, and it's not that it's not anything, because it is a lot, but your perspective changes as you start to know people like, Chris Flores or a Steve Douglas or Dieter Melhorn or whoever is making the YouTube channel. You're like, oh, I know these guys. That's like normal. And these guys that before you're like, I don't even know who these people are, but they have big channels,
Yeah, for me, I felt I would say for me, because I consider myself an angler, not a YouTuber. I just YouTube, but for me, I'm probably more proud of the pro staff stuff, the sponsored angler stuff, the field staff stuff, getting on the Mad Cats team, running the pro staff at Carolina Lake Weights, getting on the Parks Planer Board team, Demon Dragons, multi-bar, Minotaur hooks, knickknacks, custom bait boards. For me, I've taken a lot more pride, and I'm honored really that those guys would want me to represent them. And I didn't do it from YouTube. I got most of that just notoriety from guys that were using the products that I was using, and then going off and telling those companies about me as an angler. And then they just found me on Facebook, really. And I've only been on Facebook about 1.5 years. So that's really when it took off for me, is getting on Facebook and posting our catches and just kind of sharing me and my son's journey. So I would say I'm probably more honored from those things, just because I feel like I got those for being a fisherman.
I mean, those companies see value in what you can offer as you being a promotional or a field staff. I mean, it's a business, and they obviously see value in having you labeled on their team. So I mean, that's really cool.
Yeah, some of these teams are very difficult to get on. Like Mad Cats is probably one of the hardest in the country to get on there. So just a long list of it. And I'm like, I can't believe they just, because when you look at who's on there, it's these huge tournament pros and big time guides that everybody's known for 20-something years. And then they invite me, just a weekend angler that fishes with my son. It's like, wow.
You think your kid's the golden ticket? I mean, his name is Action Jackson. You know what I mean?
It's gotta
Doesn't
be.
hurt.
Tornado.
Gotta
The
be.
Texas tornado.
It doesn't hurt having a kid that's broken 8 records in the last 4 or 5 months.
Yeah.
Right.
That's
Does it?
so cool.
Yeah, that's awesome.
I think probably I started gaining the notoriety. I won't say it. I mean, the live streaming helped quite a bit because we would have trips where we would catch 500 pounds of trophies. Then we would get 400, and then we hit 900. And guys are like, I never even heard of anyone catching that many. That sounds like a myth, but it's all on video. So you go watch the video, and they're like, that was a fluke. Well, then we did it again, and I'm like, damn. And they're like, you think you'll ever get close to that again? I said, oh, well, I've beat that. I just didn't do it on video. We'll beat that again.
I want you to imagine something, okay?
Oh God.
Imagine
go.
this.
You
I'm
have
in it
one
right
rod.
now. I want you now. It is. It's true. Now,
These are the parts we need a soundboard.
You're right.
now imagine this, Chris. 2 guys, 1 day of fishing, 2 rods,
Oh, I already know.
1,400 pounds.
Brad Durst
Y'all are
in the
fishing
chat.
for catfish.
That's the Red River
Yeah.
for channel cats.
Okay. Yeah.
That was 100+ fish day, averaging about 17 pounds. It was crazy. That's my story, Chris. That's all I got. And it wasn't live.
So you can't prove it.
I can prove it.
There's Milton's in the house.
Milton, you know Milton, right?
Well, that's one of my Texas slime brothers
said
right
the
there.
word trophy.
We're
and
Mad
he
Cat's
is.
teammates. He fishes. He's had some of my other guide buddies, friends that used to fish my lake that worked on his guide staff. They've tournament fished. I actually gave one of the guys some tips, and they actually, I think, won second one of the Cat Masters tournaments. I think very highly of Milton. To me, he's a Texas legend. Love that guy. Man, he does big things. He catches massive alligator gar. He is one of the best blue cat anglers probably in our state. Yes, I definitely love what he does.
So me and Tara are actually flying down there this summer to go fish gar with him. I fished with Bubba. I fished with what's his name? What's that other guy's name?
Bob.
There's a bunch now.
Well, he's the one that did
Soundboard.
River Monsters like that Bubba did. What's his name?
Jeremy Wade.
No. Anyways, but I wanted to go fish with Milton, and we talked about it. Now you're talking about, well, maybe we can talk about this off stream, but he's Mad Cats, and me and Tara are Catch a Fever, so we're gonna have to figure something out. I didn't even think of that. That's
It'll
a
be fun.
You better leave those catch the fever
it's
at
not
home.
just fine, but yeah, it'll be Kirk. Yeah, Milton said Kirk Kirkland.
Yeah.
He's a character. Holy shit. But yeah, I'll just leave that at that. But no, we're excited to go fish with him down there. Tara's never caught an alligator gar. And
Milton can't hardly miss. Man, the guy's he's lucky.
And we drive the same. Me and Milton have the same boat, so it'll be really good. It'll feel like I'm at home. How do you feel about that?
No, he'll be sweating way
You're
more.
gonna
I was
land
gonna say,
some
it feel right at
monsters.
home at 110 degrees.
I don't mind the Texas heat at all.
I do.
Actually,
I'm gonna have a mini fan and a little frog
Okay.
rag
You-
thing.
wait till you smell it.
I'm gonna be
gar.
real girly.
Lots of water.
So,
none of that. Lots of water.
What do you
though.
guys
Yeah.
normally
Caffeine.
run for bait? Like, is it? I don't know. Do you have a
It
favorite
varies
or
depending- I mean, it really varies.
just
in the
time of
winter-
year?
Just time of year. I'd say right now I'm usually using gizzard shad. In the winter, I'll use anything I can get of a certain size. I like big baits, so I'll use carp, I'll use drum, big bluegill, giant gizzard shad. We drag, so we try to give a natural presentation in the winter. Right now we're anchoring, so we're anchoring up. We're in the spring transition. Everything is just transitioned to the shallow water. So last weekend we caught him in 2 feet. I think we got 2 30s, a 40, and a couple teeners, and then probably 40 eaters.
Damn.
Is that your hometown lake as well?
That was my home lake we fished on last weekend. Louisville's my home lake. So
That's cool.
Amy.
That's really cool.
Hey, Amy.
Amy wants to catch gar. Well, you know the gar guide's right in chat, Amy. Full send it. My daughter had a gar today, lost boats. That thing was about 35 inches. Probably a big old long nose, huh, Corey?
He's actually down in Florida right now.
Oh, was
Testing
he?
bait. Yeah, he's in Florida right
Yeah.
now testing baits.
Spotted gar?
Yeah, Amy. Milton knows a guy. You want to fish with him?
Yeah, he knows himself.
Yep. Yeah.
yeah, he's booking trips. So you better get them while they can. I told him last week I'm gonna book a trip, but my 2 buddies I was gonna try to book a trip with, they're like, I can't go then, so I got to find somebody who'll go with me. Cause
All I know is flying to Texas to DFW is the cheapest flight round trip anywhere in the country.
yeah, it's a major hub.
so
It's one of the
cheap.
big hubs, so
It is so cheap. It was under like $220 or something round trip.
It's not bad at all.
crazy.
The farther away the flight is, it'll be cheaper. The closer it is, it's that it'll go up to about 4 or 5 round trip.
For what? To the day of the trip? Oh, we need to probably get those
Yeah,
ordered
you
soon.
need to
yeah, you got to get them early because it definitely goes up
Yeah.
as you get closer to it.
Probably
Yeah.
do that.
And then you probably have to go off the little airport because that's the one that does Southwest.
I'll tell you what, we didn't get cheap tickets. We're going to Idaho in 3 weeks for white sturgeon, and tell you what, those weren't cheap.
Oh my gosh.
Holy cow! I couldn't believe it. I don't want to say how much it was because it's kind of ludicrous, but I mean, we had to go.
We had to.
We had to go.
What's an
Had to
out-of-state
buy 'em.
license cost
How
out
far of
there?
a drive is that?
$400 for a license.
what is
or-
it?
Holy
I'm
shit.
just kidding. It's like
That's
$40.
not for
It's like,
No way.
How far of a drive is Idaho?
20. It's like 20 something hours to
20
drive there.
I suggested.
You'll spend more. You'll spend $600-700 just in gas to get there and back in one of our
Yeah.
trucks.
Driving it's gotten cheaper to fly.
It is too. It's so true. Like Texas is only it's about it's 1,100 miles from my house to where we garfish.
I love
It's
how you
really
just
not
know
that
that
far. Well, we've done it so many times, and I remember because Jacob from Rogers, where Jacob lives, it's 1, 2, 3, 4 miles from Jacob's house.
Mm.
So easy to remember that.
Amy, Milton, and I are besties now.
Nice. Get in on
Jay's
that.
in the house.
Jay
What's up, Jay?
Jay Dropshot Johnson is in
Jay
the
Dropshot
house.
Johnson is in the house. That's right. That's a good one.
I know.
Yeah,
That's
a
his
good one.
nickname, Dropshot. But what else do we have to talk about with Chris today? I know Chewy's probably got some. We were just kind of making a joke
We
about it on
were.
the last podcast. Like, should we do an all Spanish podcast? Because Chewy obviously
me
speaks
out.
Spanish. I can speak
Yeah,
okay.
that's what I was mentioning earlier.
I'll
He
just
asked me,
sit
should we
here.
do all Spanish? And I said, have you looked at him?
I said, I don't know
Take
if
a
he
look at
speaks
him.
Spanish.
And you tell me if he speaks Spanish. I'll be surprised if he does. I mean, he probably knows some words, probably none that we can say in the podcast.
Probably not.
He probably picked up some of them words.
I know some of those words.
Yeah, you do, Scott. What else are we going to talk about? I'm having a brain fart right now.
If you want
I'm
to
looking at my
comment
thing.
next week, Wednesday night, and give me a new nickname, that'd be great. 'cause you're very good at coming up with those.
What time is it?
I have no idea.
I'm looking
Oh.
for the picture.
We're looking for
show.
some pictures to show of some of your fish.
Yeah.
Oh man, I wish I could show them. I mean, I got a cut. I think we got 16 50s this season. We got 2 60s, a 72, and countless 40s and 30s, and we've
That's a
had
lot
a
of
hell
fish.
I don't know if you can
Killing
see
it.
it,
I was
but
gonna say
Luke's got a
Just killing.
Yeah,
100
can you see the belly on that fish right
118
there?
up there.
You see that, Chris?
I can't see it. No.
No, there's a big belly on a big blue cat mounted in here that someone caught.
I can see
Someone
just
died.
about- yeah.
It's right.
Let me help him.
Oh. What?
Luke is also the Wisconsin state record holder for
Lake sturgeon.
lake sturgeon.
You know, sometimes. Let's see. What are you trying to do? You got it. There's that knob. Oh gosh, we're
Oh,
moving
man, here we
everything.
go.
He's
That thing's
gonna
heavy,
mess
it's gonna
it
flip.
up.
Okay, yeah.
Oh,
There-
oh,
there-
oh, there
Oh,
it is.
wow. Totally worth it.
I had to get the replica.
That's a beast.
Chewy broke a whisker off.
Yeah, Chewy broke 2 whiskers
He was
off.
dusting it.
I'm really excited about that.
You're fired.
Yeah, he's done. I blame Tara
much
too.
is that
So.
one?
Yep.
What's that?
How much did that one weigh?
118. That's my 5th blue cat I ever caught.
Holy smokes! You lucky.
He's also got a horseshoe up his head.
Yeah, he does.
My PB was before that was 42, and I went straight to the triple digits.
So he's so he has some pictures
Yeah.
here,
So
okay.
here in Texas,
Yeah, go ahead.
So here in Texas, there's my boy. That's Tim Scott.
Oh, we love
Oh,
Tim.
we love Tim.
We had him on the podcast at the Catfish conference.
Yeah, in Kansas.
I love that guy, man. He's been good to me. I think he's probably the number 100-pound catfish angler in the Texas in my mind. I mean,
Yeah.
in this
He
country,
there's
in my mind.
nobody's caught more 100-pounders than him.
He's
I don't know how the hell you target 100-pound fish, but that's crazy.
knows.
If y'all
He's so
seen the
smart.
hook, the hook is as big as my freaking hand.
Right, exactly.
But
Who do we got there? Who's that?
Jeff Lowry, he's another. He's a really good dude, good supporter. He lives up in Ohio. He brought my son some decals, put on the side of the boat. Jackson's logo. It's a Texas tornado. Him getting wild. with the tornado.
I love
That's
that.
Jeremy Montegia. He's the tackle bandit guy. They own Demon Dragon. They're one of my sponsors.
Yeah.
Yeah, there he is. Up
There's
there.
Jackson doing what he does best.
Getting after it.
Yeah, that's Casey Nelms. He invented the dragging weight. He invented the Santee rig for dragging for catfish. He's a legend.
Yeah,
That's cool.
You didn't know about him?
No,
Never heard of him?
no.
That's Flathead Luke. That's
It
Jack.
sure
Oh,
is.
okay, there it is. I figured it was. I figured it
Yeah.
A
was.
couple of youth anglers doing big things right there.
That's so
Love
cool
that.
to me.
Some of my Carolina Lake Weights crew. That's Ian Tipton, the slime booger, and that's his fishing partner.
Is this the show in Kentucky?
Yeah, that's the one in Kentucky. That was a good
That
time.
looks sweet.
That was my Carolina Lake Weights family right there. That's Jamie Dunn and Rebecca. That's Josh Wick, Russell Rhodes, Jamie and Rebecca's daughter back there, and me in the back.
There you go.
That's Kevin Parks. He's the king of planer boards. He
Oh
just
yeah,
my
everyone
son.
knows who that is.
So he brought Jackson on, and I've been on pro staff for a while with him. Really good dude, one of the best supporters. There's Roger Dimmitt. He's a big in the catfish community. He's got a YouTube channel. He does Muskrat Adventures. He does a pretty cool.
Oh yeah,
So they won't. Let's see, who is that? Can't hardly see who
I
that
think
is.
those are the two
either.
guys that were with you in that other picture.
next.
Yeah, next. There they are.
There's
Look
the
at
boys.
that.
There's the
Look at
boys
that with their
medals.
medals.
That's the owner of
Matt
Mad Cat.
Another one of my sponsors. He owns Mad Cats. He's been my mentor through a lot of this stuff. He's been a good friend to me. He's always good, gives me great advice on how to navigate social media.
He does
he
a
helps
lot.
me. He's helped me, gave me a ton of help on running our pro staff at Carolina Lake Weights. Just a solid dude. Love that guy.
Yeah. There's
There's
up in the
Palmetto.
Yeah.
There's Kevin giving Jackson his award. There's Jackson up giving his little 5-second speech.
Oh, that's it.
That's cool.
Yeah.
There's
That's
the legend
awesome.
again.
That's cool.
That's so awesome. Huh?
That was a great time, man. I loved going to see that, seeing all my friends, and getting a chance to shake hands with all the sponsors and people that have been supporting us. I'm definitely going back to that thing again.
You got a question here from
Yeah, we're definitely going. We went to Kansas City this year. I've been to Louisville.
Kentucky.
I've been to Louisville, but we haven't gone as a group to Louisville yet.
We will
And-
next year.
Says if I ever fish Lake Texoma, that's one of the main lakes I fish.
Yeah,
I fish up there quite a bit. That's where I've got my PB out of Lake Texoma. It's a 78 pounder. Love that lake. It's very difficult lake to fish. It is a massive, deep lake, but really good lake for blue cat. That's where our state record come out of, 123 pounds.
Damn.
Whoa.
That is it.
We don't have a lot of 100-pound class fish in Texas, but that lake produces one about every 2 or 3 years.
Is it just the deeper structure in it, do you think? Or
It's
I mean,
deep,
that's-
it's big, it's got striper, it's got a lot of, it's just, it's got current. The water levels fluctuate.
do you fish a lot of striper? Sorry.
Lots of striper. Striper lakes are generally really good blue cat lakes. Big blue cats love to eat striper. So a lot of guys think, oh, you got to find the bait, but
Some
you know,
good striper
really,
lakes.
really big blue cats actually eat what's eating the bait. So
Can
I
you
think
use stripers for bait?
on that fishery you can. On our
That's
interior
awesome.
fisheries in Texas, you cannot. But if you catch on Texoma or like any of our border lakes that border like Louisiana or Oklahoma, like Texoma does, you are allowed to use any bait that you legally catch. So if you catch a black bass, you can use it, and it's legal. You can use it for bait. It counts against your bag limit for the day, but you can use it.
same as Wisconsin.
I don't see why that's not the case for everywhere.
Minnesota can't
technically,
even
I
use
can go
bluegill.
catch-
Yeah.
They can't do
We
anything.
can't even use carp.
No, they can't use anything.
We
here.
can't use carp as bait in Minnesota, Chris.
Makes no
They're-
sense. I can go catch a limit of crappie and use it as fertilizer in my garden, but I can't use it as bait.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we
that's
can
crazy.
take the invasive carp and throw them on the bank, and that's okay, right?
Yeah.
No, you
Yeah.
technically
Yeah,
can't
right.
throw fish on the bank if that's illegal. You have to put them away, bury them, or put them somewhere out of the water. That's wanton waste, even if it's a rough fish.
Yeah.
So it's kind of a weird situation. It's an invasive fish we can't use as bait,
So you can bury it, but you can't
but we
throw it
can
on
bury it or shoot them with arrows. But we can't use them as bait. Makes a lot of sense.
Right.
Yes.
But no, I think we're gonna finish up the podcast here, Chris. We appreciate you coming on tonight, and it's great meeting you and talking to you on here. I've
Yeah,
talked to you
man.
on the phone once, but
Appreciate you guys having me. It's fun.
yeah, we were
Well,
really
no,
excited to
awesome.
have you on, and we'll probably be seeing you. Maybe me and Tara might see you when we're in Texas, or for
Yeah,
sure we'll.
check out. Y'all are welcome on the boat anytime. Just let me know and we'll make it happen.
Yeah, we'll for sure see. We'll for sure see you in Louisville next year. So
Yeah, we're
Oh
going-
yes, it's gonna be a good time. I'll be this next round. I'll be working probably. I'll split time with Carolina Lakeweights and Mad Cats. So
okay.
come
If
say
people
hello.
wanna-
I know you're a Hellcat guy, but
Hey, I got a Mad Cats ride at home.
No, but how do people get in touch with you or watch your stuff? Where should they go to see that?
well, you can get a hold of me on Facebook. Chris Gammill on Facebook. I also have a Facebook group called El Gato Azul TV. You can hit me up on that. You can hit me up on my email. It's elgatoazultv@yahoo.com. Or you can find me on YouTube or TikTok at El Gato Azul TV.
Well, we appreciate you
Nice.
once again.
All right,
Yeah,
Chris.
man.
We'll see you next week with my new nickname.
Thanks, Chris.
Thanks, Chris. Appreciate it, brother.
See you, man.
Thanks,
you.
guys.
you.
Y'all have a good one. Appreciate
You
y'all.
too.
That was fun.
That guy was
dude.
awesome.
Yeah, man.
I don't know what it is. I could listen to Southerners talk all night.
Dieter's real thick,
Yeah, he was fun too.
but he's an Appalachian guy. I mean, that's a whole nother ball game. You get into
They
it's
got
crazy
good
how
moonshine out there.
pretty crazy how it changes as you move around the country, isn't it? It's pretty neat.
Pretty neat.
Yeah, my
Pretty
family
neat.
moved from Minnesota to Virginia, and they all developed steep Southern accents.
You know what's interesting about well, never
I'll
mind.
go there
Just
for a
say
week,
it,
and I'll
say
come
it.
back with a
No,
minute.
With podcast.
It's it has to do with choir and singing and stuff.
Yeah.
When we used to sing national choir competitions, shut up, Dan. And nationals, when we were in Las Vegas singing at the national choir competition, I'm a choir boy at heart, guys. The judges would always say, pronunciation and verbiage is huge in competition.
Yep.
And they say the Midwest has the most accurate pronunciations and verbiage in the country. The
Yep.
Midwest
Yep.
people do.
Of
People
the year.
draw stuff out when you go south. People make fun of us for saying Minnesota, but they don't hear themselves apparently. And I love it. I love it. I love the
Right.
Southern
So
accent.
what's coming up? We got
like 'em all.
we got the opener not this weekend, following weekend, April 8th.
And by opener, he means, you guys, this is the
Store
spring,
opener. Sorry.
spring grand
Store
opening for
opener.
catfishing is on April 8th, Saturday. It starts at about 9 or not. We'll
Niner.
call her 9 o'clock. We'll be here at 9. Dan's gonna be grilling food.
Yep.
I'll be out there
We're
at
gonna.
some point.
We got a lot of weights we're gonna have out here. I'm just gonna keep saying it so I force you to help me out. A lot of weights. We have 100+ rods on the shelves right behind the camera. I'm looking at them right now. We got a lot of terminal tackle. We got a whole bunch of new reels.
More showing up tomorrow.
More showing up tomorrow.
Any bait feeders?
We got some bait feeders. We got one here already,
We
actually.
got a bunch, bro.
We got a lot. So this is the biggest stocking they've ever had here at the bait shop. We'll have our new apparel up on the floor. We got our hats up. We got some stickers. We got some art. It's gonna be fun. And that's next Saturday on the 8th.
Yeah. Well, I'll be here. Scott, you gonna be here?
Yeah.
I just said I'll
I
be
was
here.
watching the Hass
I
live TikTok.
work.
Oh.
He's like,
I'm so sad.
Tara.
His baitcaster. He's like, this is how you fix a whatever or when it clogs up.
Bird's
He
nest.
just threw his whole around.
I love that. I love that a lot.
That guy's
That's
the man.
awesome.
Since I met him in Kansas City, I've been watching a lot of his stuff.
All right.
He
What
comes
else
up
do
on
we
my
got?
TikTok a lot.
That's all I got.
That's all I got too. You guys have anything else to add before we end it
Well,
off
we
here?
were making ice this morning.
Yeah.
Just pretty happy about that.
Okay.
I don't
Anything
know.
else?
How depressing.
Jesus.
Ish.
Other than that, River's open right now,
Yeah.
so pretty soon here we're gonna be hitting the cats. Channel cats are gonna be ripping here real quick. Once the water gets like into the mid 40s, that's when it's fire on the Minnesota River.
I want to go.
Waiting for that day. So
Yep.
thank you guys for
There you
tuning
go.
in to this
Right,
week's
Dan.
Old Carver Fishing Podcast.
Do it.
Yeah.
We'll see you next Wednesday.
Sure thing. Chris, hang out. Don't get off, Chris. Stay on.
Yeah, Chris.
All right, guys.
See you guys.
Everybody
See you
else.
next-